in our studio here in Statesville, North Carolina. Next week, Rodney Miller and Gary Fry are going to be here. We're going to wrap up our series on Constitution, a Search for the Truth. We advertised this in the Rock Creek Free Press, and we have really tried to promote it, because I will tell you, when I first started saying we were going to do this, because it was unheard of and no one knew what we were talking about, everyone immediately said, don't do that, it can't be true. And I think we have effectively made our case. We're going to be coming up on a break here in about 60 seconds, Dr. Schroeder, and then when we come back, well, we're coming up on it now. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with you, so stay with us through this break. You're listening to The Real News with Farron and Brian, and we will be back here after the break.
Encourage them to do about three things, if they kind of know how to do it. That would be go back in the statutes at large, read the Trading with the Enemy Act of October the 16th, 1917. Then come forward and read the statutes at large, 1933, 48 Statute 1. And read 48 Statute 1, the Emergency Banking Act, and then read the Emergency Agricultural Adjustment Act. Just read those two acts will be enough. Then come forward and read the National Emergencies Termination Act, 1974, passed by the Congress, and read and understand those simple acts. And then listen to President Obama, I guess, on the television. And once one understands all of that, they should be able to understand that, yes, our Constitution is under suspension.
Yes, I think you make a great point. I always thought something was wrong, drastically wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it until this information came my way that you had done in the early 90s. And then once you see it, just like this past week, I don't have it in front of me, I don't believe, just this past week, Obama had decided to bypass Congress to detain suspects indefinitely, and it's just more of the war powers right in front of you, where like I said earlier, basically the Congress and the Senate can just be ceremonial, and the president can rule as a dictator. And I think you've made a great case, you've proved your point, and this information needs to be got out to everyone. And again, we've had a lot of different guests on The Real News since March 1st of last year, and there's not been any that I looked more forward to than this, because one, the information that you brought out was so important. I mean, like you said in the DVD, you can't find solutions until you address what the true problem is, and there's no doubt that you're a true patriot, and you went through all of this time and effort because you wanted to better your country for yourself and for your children and your neighbors, and that's what a true patriot does. So again, I just want to thank you for being on here, for all the work you've done, and I'll give you the last word. And again, it was a great pleasure to have you on. We'd like to stay in contact with you and maybe do some other stuff in the future.
Very good. Appreciate your efforts, Farron and Brian, both. And I think that's about all, really all we can say is that if we're going to change this government, and believe you me, I believe it needs to be changed, we've got to know what went wrong in order to correct it, to get it back to a situation where it's workable again. If we don't know those things and we don't know what to do, then there's very little chance of us getting anything meaningful done.
Well, I agree with you 100%, and we will stay in touch with you. You've got our numbers too. If you would need us for any reason, Dr. Schroeder, you feel free to give us a call. And if you can, next week, take a listen to Gary and Rodney Miller. We're looking forward to having them in. And Rodney Miller is who got me in contact with you, and I think it's great to get this kind of information out. So again, thanks for joining us, and we'll stay in touch with you. And you have a great day, sir.
You also.
All right, we were joined with Dr. Eugene Schroeder. Again, that is a true patriot. We enjoyed having him on. If you want a copy of the DVD that he made in the early 90s, email us on air at therealnewsradio.com with your physical address, and we will mail it to you free of charge. We've give out several. We encourage everyone to look into this information for yourself. Don't believe what we say. Look into it for yourself. If you can disprove any of this, we are all ears. Since we started this series, Brian, we have put that out to the people, to especially the naysayers, which have came forward and said that, that is the craziest thing we've ever done, since saying what we have about 9/11. But we have not had anyone that has been able to refute one word of what we have put out here today. And when we come back next hour, after the top of the hour break, we're going to open the phone lines as we continue with the news. And anyone that wants to comment, will feel free to call in and comment, because to me, the interview we had today with Dr. Schroeder is one of the best that we've ever had. What's your opinions, Brian?
I certainly agree, Farron, and that's a key point that you make, is if this was not true, how come nobody, and I mean nobody, can refute it?
And we've put it out there, we've gave it away, we've offered it to anyone that wants to look into it. We've cited where in the Constitution they get this power. There's no doubt, and this is one of the things that we've had to have discussions on. There's no doubt the Constitution was suspended March 9, 1933. This is not up for debate. That's a fact. Okay, then we go to 1973, and we can without a doubt prove that Senate Report 93-549 says they admitted that we were in suspension for 40 years. Now, 94, McCain admits, and we played it, that it's still in suspension. And what I have to ask is for someone to point to where it was reinstated. And of course, a lot of people try to say, well, it's never been suspended, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the angle that you have to go at this one. And like Dr. Schroeder says in the DVD, if you we can't come up with solutions until we address the problem. And the Constitution, as long as it's in suspension, see, if the Constitution, I wish I'd ask him this, if the Constitution was reinstated, we'd have to get out of the United Nations. All of this foreign aid, all these bases around the world, all of this overwhelming authority that the federal government has dictated over the states, all of that would be eradicated. If we were living under the Constitution, we'd have a good form of government. We'd not have near the problems we've got. One we wouldn't have would be this fiat currency that is unbacked paper, because the Constitution says it's up to Congress to regulate and coin the money, and it's supposed to be silver and gold. It's not supposed to be a paper currency, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, the Constitution is a direct roadblock to a new world order. And the only way for a new world order to occur is to somehow circumvent the Constitution. They've done it in a very slick way. Most Americans think it's still there. Where someone like Hitler comes along, they just downright eliminate it, and it's right there in your face. I mean, he's honest about it. He's saying, look, I'm going to destroy all your rights. Listen to me or die, basically. And Hitler proved that strategy towards becoming a new world order just simply does not work. So the FDR, the other side of the New World Order at the time decided to go the incremental route, economic route, versus the military route.
Exactly, and that's a great point, and the proper word is exactly what you said, incrementalism, and as we stated earlier, here this information has been so purposely suppressed, no one knows about it. When you bring it out like what we've done over the past weeks, all those that want to refute it can't. So we've made the case, we've proved the point. Now, what do we do about it? People has got to burn these DVDs, spread the word. We've got to hold our politicians' feet to the fire, and we have got to admit the fact, whether we like it or whether we don't, that the Constitution of the United States of America is in suspension, and this is why the President can run practically as he wishes. And some of the things that he didn't go through them all, but the March 1st, Congressman James Beck stated that this gives the President the power to organize and control production, seize commodities, assign military forces abroad, institute martial law, seize and control all transportation and communications, regulate private enterprise, restrict travel, and basically completely control the lives of all American citizens. And Obamacare and cap and trade and hate crimes bill and all the things that we are seeing is for the government to completely control the lives of all the American citizens. It started then, and it hadn't ended yet. And